spicy already inside my mouth. We have got Wes from Fight the Good Fight and Jeff the Chef joining us in studio. Good morning, boys. Welcome along.
Good morning.
Nice to have you in. Flip, thanks for the food, Jeff.
Pleasure, brother.
So we've smoked out the whole building here at Life FM HQ. I'm sure there'll be some sort of meeting with HR or something later on that Tabs and I will have to...
Yeah. It's we don't need to talk about that. That's fine.
Guys, that's no worries. So we're going to hear from Jeff coming up. And we're going to try a sample of his delicious breakfast that he's made for us, which is very kind of you, by the way. And Jeff, it's been years since we've had you in studio cooking us food, so nice to reminisce. But welcome, Wes. Kia ora.
Hey, cool. Kia ora.
So you're from Fight the Good Fight. So on your website, if people want to check you out, ftgf.org.nz, it says resilience, personal development, emotional strength. Save my seat, register now. Tell us about Fight the Good Fight. Where did it come from? What are you guys all about?
Resilience is like you've just read, so I'll repeat everything you just said. But we are about that, and it all came through, and I guess from a journey that I walked myself and a few others that we kind of formed together and looked at what was happening out in the community.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of people who were struggling. And I was blessed to be able to kind of get out of my little kind of pit, in a sense.
Yeah.
You always think you're in a pit, but there's always someone else worse off than you. And managed to kind of come out and went, man, well, I've got some tools. A few other guys had a few tools. So we were challenged, say, 3 years ago, to do something in the community when we were at church at Equippers, and it just all kind of came together.
That's awesome.
So it's all about resilience. How did we get out of our mess? And obviously, down on our knees praying, going all the way to from here, and then finding that, hey, I got out of it.
Yeah.
And to look back and go, whoa, there was a few others that I started to, I wouldn't say I counselled, we were just mates.
You can say you counselled them.
We were in counsel.
You
I was a
mentored
counsellor.
them.
Sorry if you're listening in.
You
we were
discipled
just
them.
being boys. And found that, it was just, hey, we got some good stuff here that,
You've walked that path and you want to show people maybe the way, there's hope out there.
So we've got Fight the Good Fight is our flagship program. And we're at quite a few schools and in the community. And this is why I asked Jeff to come in. He's on a similar path, but I guess in a different way.
We're going to hear from Jeff a little bit about his story and maybe like a bit of a window into a webinar that he's going to be... Is that hosted tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. So you can check that out on their Facebook page, Facebook Live, where they're going to be... You can tune in, you can hear his story and all of his many years of wisdom packed into how long do you reckon it'll go for?
An hour.
An hour?
To an hour.
Oh, I thought it was 5 minutes.
Tracks.
We'll see. Oh, this will be the practice run, Jeff. So we're going to hear a little bit of that story coming up. So you say you work with schools, and you mentioned off air that you're going to Kelston Boys later today.
Yeah. Shout out to the Kelston Boys.
Yeah, what do you do at schools? Like, what does it kind of look like, the program? And
so we unpack 4 fears of rejection, shame, failure, and punishment. And we look at 9 character traits. You'll find that in Galatians 5.
Yeah.
On how to counter some of the opposites of those fruits or character traits.
Yeah,
so
right.
those are your triggers, and we go in and share on that, and how do we overcome the effects of fear. We kind of frame it up in a way that you have to protect something. And what that is your mental health and your well-being. We call that a reward or your peace of mind. Yeah. Same thing, different words, but it's really been impactful. Surprised, we shouldn't be surprised, right? Because it comes straight from the word at the impact it's had. And you'll see that on our website, just some of the feedback that we've put up.
Is it cool hearing the stories of people that have, I don't know, when you put yourself out there and you try and give a little bit of maybe your own journey or story to others to be like, well, here's what I went through and here's what helped me to deal with and make my way through that, and then seeing other people able to sort of follow or learn a bit from that?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you just go out there and you're just reframing it for, they really know it, right? So when you go out there, you reframe it in such a way, and you're, I guess, prompting them and go, man, there's a better way of looking at things, looking at struggles, and it's been really helpful for quite a lot of people. So yeah, that's what kind of gets me going all the time, getting up each morning.
Well, you managed to find someone who's deep in the gutter and really struggling on all fronts, and that was Salah Arlo, who featured on one of your,
Poor guy.
talks. But Salah came in and did a session online with you guys, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
It was really good. You got to watch it, guys. It's on our website. Very informative. Again, a lot of gems that he came across
Yeah.
to help us through. I mean, we're only human, right? So when we say fight the good fight, it's because sometimes we knock out the bad one, you know, and we don't always win. And it's learning ways to kind of overcome. Well, actually, even just recognizing it. If you don't recognize that there's not a better way, then you just carry on doing the same. And so we put words to it, and the words on emotions, yeah?
Yeah.
So you can understand maybe, okay, where am I at? What am I doing? And what is the way out? So, yeah.
Well, it's cool. And we love supporting you guys. So if you want to check them out, ftgf.org.nz, Fight the Good Fight. Coming up next, I've got to play the news. But we're going to hear from Jeff the Chef and a little bit of his story, maybe a preview as to the longer webinar that you could tune into a little bit later on. It's just on 8:30. You're on live. We've got Wes from Fight the Good Fight joining us, and Jeff the Chef, who we have a long history with on the
Good
morning
morning.
wake up. Nice to see you again, Jeff.
Mate, always good to be here, brother.
Just to paint a picture, I've known Jeff for probably 12 years.
Yep.
Since way back when I first started with Life FM on breakfast, and Jeff used to come in almost every Friday, or at least every second Friday for a while there, and cook up a huge feed for the show and just make food for us. It's
What?
very
Much.
It's
What a
very nice
treat.
of you.
I've just been very busy eating this very delicious breakfast, Jeff. What have you made?
It's a vegan nightmare, so nothing green, nothing healthy, everything excellent. So we've got barbecue pork, barbecue steak, lamb chops, bacon, jalapeno cheese sauce, and a sweet heat barbecue sauce as well.
What's the secret to making it as delicious as it is?
Cook it, lots of flavour, lots of oil, all the good things in life. And then we finish it off with Coca-Cola, of course.
How long did it take to cook?
About 40 minutes.
Yeah, you've done real well, man. We appreciate the food. And you're going to be featuring, not doing a cooking lesson or anything like that, but on Fight the Good Fights webinar tomorrow night. So if you want to plug into this, it's going to be on Zoom, but it'll also be streamed on Facebook Live. So all the details, if you go to ftgf.org.nz or just search up Fight the Good Fight, and you'll come across it. So, Jeff, you're going to be speaking on this, right?
Yep.
So I know you as a man of many hats. Done a few different things, right?
Yep.
So you're talking about business and you're talking about the fear of failure. What's your experience with that, and what is this webinar kind of going to be encompassing? Is this your story?
A bit of it, eh? I mean, you go to a lot of business conferences, and so like Wes and I used to talk and say, we see these guys come up in their cashmere suit and their Gucci luggage and their high-fly shoes, and they tell their story like, oh, yeah, I just did a deal, made $5 million. And 99% of the people sit in the audience go, oh, yeah, that's great, can't relate.
Yeah.
We want to tell the story of, you know what, I tried to do something, I made an attempt at something, and I crashed it. But then when I crashed it, what happened from there? So we talk about the fear of failure. And for me personally, I used to see failure like a valley, and I used to see success like a mountaintop, right? And so you're constantly striving to get to that mountaintop. Every time you failed, you were ripped up and gutted. But then I learned that it's more like whitewater rafting. You ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
And so, when you're hitting those rapids, mate, you're
I'm
looking.
capsized, yeah.
But you're looking, right? You're looking at the rapids, you're looking at the boulders, and you're working out. So success and failure, they're tutors. But you have to become a truth seeker, a truth detective. And when you do that, you go, oh, that didn't work, that failed, but I'm not a failure. I just learned a way not to do something. Or even when you succeed, you can still mess that up if you have the wrong attitude or you don't know how you got there. So you've got to figure out, hey, how did I make this success? How did I make a good barbecue against the rubbish barbecue, I've
never seen you make a rubbish barbecue, so you got plenty of success in that.
Thanks, man.
Well, we don't know. Maybe there was a failure.
I guess
There
probably
was.
failures along the way, right?
When I started doing American barbecue, I made a pastrami, but it became a block for building a house.
Yeah.
It was like solid charcoal. And I invited all these people around for dinner, and I'm like, yo, who wants KFC?
Yeah.
But you've got to be open. To go forward in life, you've got to be vulnerable. You've got to open up your heart and say, I tried this, and it didn't work. You mean, you look at the Bible, Jesus' homeboys, right? They went out on the boat. They were there. Storm was rolling in. They were freaking out. They just finished their fish sandwiches. And then all of a sudden they see Jesus rocking towards them, right? And then they're freaking out. The waves are hitting the boat. And then they're like, if it's you, Lord, they thought it was a ghost. And he's like, no, it's me, it's Jesus. And he's like, if it's you, call me to come.
Yeah.
And so Peter walked out. But then he took his eyes off Jesus and he sunk, right?
Yeah.
And then Jesus pulled him up and it was all good. But when you read that story in the Bible, it's never highlighted the story of the 11 disciples that played it safe and sat in the boat. It's always about the guy, Peter, walked on water. And as Christians, we always hear that story, and it's always about when you're in the perfect storm, keep your eyes focused on Jesus. But that would never have been there if Peter didn't attempt to do something that was out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, he stepped out of the boat, right?
Yeah, man. And so that's the whole essence of this, hey? Is telling people you can make a mistake. You can fail. You can fail in business. You can fail in marriage. You can fail with your kids. But don't stay there. Stop, look, learn, and move forward.
Sometimes our failures can be quite destructive. Like, a failure that's doesn't have many consequences. It's probably a little bit easier to have that attitude than when you maybe lost all your money or, how do you have
Honey,
that
I lost
attitude?
$10 million overnight.
Wow.
I had 30 staff. I had a mass company, 5 different offices, and I took my eyes off Jesus, man, and I took my eyes on me, and I was like, I'm the man, I can do this. I had a race car in there and a Harley, and I thought I was the bee's knees, man. And I didn't watch my sixes. I didn't watch what was behind me. And it came rolling over the top of me and wiped me out. And I had nothing. I nearly lost my family. I nearly lost my wife. I lost a lot of friends. Wes stood with me through that storm.
Yeah.
And that was really painful and it was really hard. And at first I looked at it like rose-colored glasses, like, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. Then I looked at it with dark glasses. Man, I did everything wrong. Then I looked at it through truth goggles and go, oh, I did this wrong. That wasn't my fault. What do I need to do? And I had to repair relationships. I had to humble myself. I had to apologize to my wife. I had to apologize to my kids. I mean, I was so cocky at the time that, if people wanted to catch up with me, I'd be like, oh, yeah, just call my PA. She'll schedule you, I'm too busy, man. and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But when I realized that the biggest failure I did was take my eyes off Jesus, that's what changed everything. So when I knew what I did wrong, I then instantly knew what to do right. So when I put my eyes back on Jesus, he allowed me to rebuild my life piece by piece by piece.
Amen, bro. And what I love, Wes, about the about Fight the Good Fight is, you connect, people with others who have walked something, and have a story to tell, who have been there. They're not just speaking from a place of, oh, I learned about this. It's like, I lived this. I've been there. And here's hopefully something to help you if you're going through a similar thing. Because I think for a lot of people, like New Zealand is a big country of small businesses, and the stress of that on the weight for people of that whole pressure of success, and then if you achieve it, the big head that comes with it and all of that kind of stuff. It's
Huge.
hard to navigate, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, I hope it's going to be a real blessing to people if they tune in. The webinar is tomorrow night. More from Jeff the Chef. You get to hear that story and hopefully be equipped with some tools. You can go to ftgf.org.nz. Where's anything else we want to cover? Push Bill. I see you whispering to Jeff in the background.
I was saying is that 8 till 9, but I just wanted to add to that whole, hey, who pulled him out when he was, sinking,
Yeah.
And so, taking that risk and knowing that you don't always fall. He catches you before you're down. And that's what I experienced. And it's good to hear that Jeff experienced it. And it's just, I just love the journey.
Well, if you want to hear more, make sure you tune in to the webinar. Jeff, thank you again. Nice to see you, my friends. Thanks for all the food.
Pleasure, bro.
And shout out Wes. Thanks for coming in again. And if you want to check them out, ftgf, fightthegoodfight.org.nz.